Welcome to Informed Sources on News Channel 3, where we talk about the week's big stories with local voices. I'm your host, Greg Hurst. Thanks for joining us. In a moment, I'll introduce our panel, but first, here are tonight's hot topics. It's a time of transition and perhaps transformation for the Memphis-Shelby County School District. A new superintendent is about to take over as the district prepares for a major construction project, adding 2 new high schools. We'll talk about what lies ahead for the incoming superintendent and where the district is heading. We'll also discuss the controversy over an upcoming appearance by Kyle Rittenhouse at the University of Memphis. He made headlines 4 years ago after shooting 3 people during a protest in Wisconsin. Some students are trying to get the event canceled, but some are wondering if that would be a violation of First Amendment rights of free speech. We'll talk it out. And it has been a rough week for Tigers coach Penny Hardaway after a season-ending loss to Wichita State in the conference tournament. Some fans, believe it or not, have even suggested it's time for Penny to go, but are they overreacting? You'll hear from the coach himself, and our panel will weigh in. But before we begin tonight's discussion, let's introduce our panel. I am joined by 2 former Memphis City Council members, Martavius Jones and Frank Colvett. This is like everything old is new again, right? It's good to see you guys.
Good to be here.
Yeah, glad you're here. By the way, before we get started, we want to talk about something that's quickly taking over as a controversy. It's a piece of legislation that could become law in just a matter of days. In fact, it's a bill that would ban local governments in Tennessee from restricting traffic stops by law enforcement agencies. It's now awaiting Governor Bill Lee's signature. The Senate passed that bill on Thursday by a vote of 26-6, just 1 week after the House passed its own version. Now, if the governor signs it, it will block a Memphis City Council ordinance that bans pretextual traffic stops. That ordinance was passed last year in the wake of the death of Tyree Nichols. So let's get started right there, because, and we won't spend a lot of time on this, but you two were both on the council at the time this ordinance was passed. What do you think about the legislation that is currently making its way through the state legislature?
This is just another opportunity for the General Assembly to usurp what the authority is on the local level. I feel that the Memphis City Council, the current council as well as the former council, has a better pulse on Memphis than the collective General Assembly when you have people who live in Middle Tennessee and in East Tennessee.
Well, I think the legislature here is exercising their right. State law trumps local law, and I think in this situation they're making it very clear that a Republican supermajority that doesn't want to get into local, just by its very nature, feels it necessary to get into local issues like this, that this is so important. So let's watch and see how it plays out. But I think it's in more than one term that, basically speaking, they're clarifying that state law trumps local.
This was dealing primarily with pretextual traffic stops. I know currently the mayor and the current police chief, the interim police chief, if you will, they've instituted a policy of, I think it's called Operation Code Zero. Those are, in essence, pretextual traffic stops. Doesn't that go against the ordinance? And if it does, what's the argument between the legislature and the council?
Well, I go back and look at it from the standpoint, what's the best use of MPD resources? Do we want them just stopping everyone who may have, we know the issues that we have with the clerk's office. Just because we have expired tags that are 2 months, 3 months expired, do we want to, is that the best use of police resources to stop everyone for those type of stops? I would say no.
All right, Frank?
If you're breaking the law, what happens? You get a ticket, and that's the law on the books. The police are following the law. State law trumps local.
All right, now let's switch over to the issue of education. The Memphis-Shelby County School District, as a matter of fact, has hired its new superintendent to lead the district into the future. She officially takes the helm in 2 weeks, and there is a lot to do. The Memphis-Shelby County School District is planning to build 2 new high schools in the coming years. The planned East Region School in Cordova to replace Germantown High School, and the new Frazier School would absorb students from the planned closure of MLK Prep. But some Shelby County commissioners are questioning the hefty price tag and if that really prioritizes all students.
I struggle because we're not talking about all students, we're talking about these students. And my issue with MSCS is just the lack of comprehensive planning that comes with creating and allocating resources for some.
Now, the new superintendent will have some say over resource allocation, but at this point, the exact cost of the schools is still up in the air. A representative with the mayor's office said it's currently building its budget. You know, it's a big job. It took a long time to finally get someone into place, Marie Fagans. What do you think about the selection, first of all?
Well, I think that they did a nice regroup of what the process was. They came out almost a false start, if you would,
right,
but came back with a selection, and I hope that the superintendent does well.
Think they found the right person?
Well, I would add the words, I think the first phase of this process was dysfunctional at best, finding a new superintendent. I'm told she is a very nice lady, that the teachers strongly support her. I think she could be a fresh approach. The problem I have is that in the Detroit School District, while she did show improvement in getting kids back from COVID into the classrooms, and that's a plus, the problem is, as of September of this past year, only 9% of those kids could pass a basic math test, the basic standardized test. So that, in essence, means, and I know we're going to talk about Penny Hardaway, you know, for every one win she got, 10 kids got lost and could not pass the math test. That's 1 out of 11. She's 1 in 10. So I hope, and I want to give her the benefit of the doubt, and I think we hope and pray she succeeds. We want her to succeed. We'll do everything we can to help her succeed. But I think for us to come forward like this, we're hiring a head coach for the school system that's 1 in 10.
Well, you know, she has never served as a superintendent. Will that be to her advantage or disadvantage in this case, do you think?
When I was on the school board, what my philosophy is, you cannot point to any organization that has had a change in leadership every 3 to 4 years and expect that organization to be successful. I'd rather take someone who is a mid-level, who can have staying power, learn on the job, and we have longevity. I think that that's the recipe for a successful superintendent, versus having one that turns and turns over every 3 to 4 years.
As a former member of the board, what's her biggest challenge, do you think?
Her biggest challenge, to me, your budget is your financial plan for executing your academic plan. I'll point out some things to you. If we just look at the charter school allocation, my first year on the school board, that allocation was about $14 million. That money is not being replaced, or was not replaced. That allocation right now is over $200 million. So we have a disjointed system, and the traditional or legacy Shelby County Schools has to cut every year to manage that allocation. When we're talking about the resources to build schools right now, I remember a report that former outgoing superintendent Dorsey Hobson, a presentation that he made. We have all of these empty classrooms in the traditional schools, but these children are residing in the charter schools. So there are no empty seats, if you would. We just have a disjointed system,
right,
where the children are.
The quality of education has also been questioned. How does she go about getting test scores up and helping students improve?
She has to move quickly. There's no question about that. She's 1 for 10 in the Detroit school system in math, okay? She did double, I think it was social studies or English, from 4 to 8% passing. All right, so she's got to move in quickly, using her resources the best of her ability, and empowering those teachers. One of the things she said that I really liked is that she is the kind of leader that empowers those under her to do the right job and to do the job as they see fit. I think that's great. She doesn't want robots for teachers. So I also agree with Martavius. I think we give her the time. If she starts to show the numbers like she showed post-COVID in Detroit, then I think we should continue. And maybe it's kind of like the Penny conversation. You know, you've got to give them time, okay? The landscape is changing. COVID changed schools, just like the NIL is changing Penny's job.
And real quickly here, how difficult is it going to be to right this ship?
I think that if we dedicate the resources, one of the things that I would hope that they go back to and have the funding to do so, having a teacher's assistant in some of the classrooms K through 3 to help with the professional being the teacher. You can take some of those, take some of those kids who may be behind and dedicate additional resources. That's what it takes, particularly at those primary levels, to get them up once they're in past the 3rd grade learning.
All right. When we come back, we're going to shift our focus to a story that's generating a lot of controversy. Some students at the University of Memphis are speaking out about an upcoming event featuring Kyle Rittenhouse. That's coming up next on Informed Sources.